coming up in our quest to go from this to this. For this, I use washer and defog buttons for door poppers. I do my nails. I get mad at the camera guy. Stop hitting my camera. I fire at the camera guy. Don't hit my camera. Damn it. I did that the other day too. And the center console area starts coming together. The leather is off being worked on at a local guy. He's got the console and the center part, the metal part that Blake made. He's looking after that, and he found us some leather that's really close to what we have in the car now. So that's all good. I'm waiting for him to do that. In the meantime, Mav dropped off some parts. They've recreated and found a source for those indicator pods that I made a couple of years ago. If I remember, I'll put a link either in the description or up above here or whatever. Anyways, so I've got to refit those. They're a little bit bigger than, slightly, than what I had, but luckily the guys had made me 2 of those indicator pod frames, and I just had them open it up a little bit for me. So I just need to cover that with leather and kind of switch all of the gauges over to the new piece. That'll take a little bit. And I got some other sods, things, stuff, bits and pieces, and a little more wiring. So we'll kind of cram through that stuff, and then hopefully the leather shows up. And sure enough, just like that, the leather showed up. The center console was wrapped by their local guy, and so I got started on that. Installed our HVAC system and the vents that we've got all pre-piped. Installed the cigarette lighter. Probably will never get used for that in my car, but be handy for a USB charging port. I needed some momentary door switches. I didn't have anything, and I reached out to Mav and he found a couple for me. These that work great, so I'm using these even though they have no relationship to opening a door. That's what we could get, so that's what we're using. The door switches aren't properly labeled for the doors. I'm not sure, I'll probably over label them with something else, but for now we'll just leave them with what we got. And with that, we finish off the center console. Really happy I went with wrapping it with leather. Looks way better. Just what I was looking for. I had to wire in the door switches and the cigarette lighter. I did not put a quick disconnect on these ones. Didn't think I needed it because it's only 6 wires, not a big deal. So I just had to make sure I had the left side figured out and the right side figured out, and then we're good to put it all in there. On to hooking up those 1-inch vent pipes. We talked about earlier how we're not going to get a whole lot of volume out of them, but something better than nothing. So we'll hook those up and then kind of find their final spot later.
That's that done for now. Onto this center console armrest. We picked up some foam because some of the areas when I was pulling it apart, the leather had damaged the foam, so I needed to repair some of that. So we just peeled back some of that area and built the foam back up to what it needed to be. Trimmed it all back, cut out the openings, and we finished off all the pieces that will be going on the front of the dash as well. Put the dome light back in. We started wrapping those front-facing corner areas where the vents mount in. And also my faux glove box. Mine's not going to be a real deal. It's just going to look like it's real because there is no room in behind that glove box to actually put anything in there for storage. So I'm just going to make it look like it's there. I didn't record it, but you'll see it in a moment. There you go. Three more to go. Got the wife to help me with making the little indicators that go to the left of the steering wheel. According to math, those things are unattainable. So you can't get them, you got to make them. And that's what we did here. You'll see them on the dash a little later. Finally got to wrapping the front-facing part of the dash. And it's basically more of the same, you know, spray down some Countach adhesive on the dash part as well as the leather, you know, tack it together, spread it all out, cut it, trim it to size, and cut out all the openings. Basically more of the same, just on a bigger scale. All left to do. Turned out pretty good for a rookie. Now we get into placing all that stuff back in there in those openings. And first is the dimmer, then we'll get on to a couple of the auxiliary switches and the signal for the security system. So I have a quick disconnect set up for everything over on this side of the dash, and it's all wired up, pre-wired in the car, and ready to accept this quick disconnect here.
No. Stop hitting my camera. Tapping to go do something, play. But he doesn't want the garage. He doesn't like the garage. Not big on the garage. No food over here. Alright. That's ready to go.
On the right side of the steering wheel, we've got the clock that goes in there, and we've also got the little bar of all the switches that we made up. So that goes in on the side as well. Here's those indicators we made earlier on the Cricut. I'm just using some double-sided tape, sticking them on. Back on the gated shifter, I needed to mount it up.
Pretty cool. Don't hit my camera! Damn it. I did that the other day too. Yay, I think we got it.
I was waiting to get some beading so we could put some beading around the bottom of the gated shifter to give it this finished look. On the bottom side, as you guys remember, I wanted to put the old boot underneath so you didn't see all the mechanisms underneath the gated shifter. Clear coat's all cured on the shifter, ready to go in. We are onto that center armrest, and you guys are not going to see much of it because I'm blocking it, and I needed help from the wife and my son in order to get this all in there. By the end of it took us a few hours, and you remember the selector for the temperature on the HVAC that had to be hooked up from underneath. So we had to get under with a couple of screws into the back side where I'm sticking my head, and it was quite the ordeal. It took us a few hours to figure it out. But we did get it.
Who designed this thing? No room for the camera, so forget it.
After spending all that time, I was really worried we were going to have to take this all apart and do it all over again. But boy, was I glad when the car fired up.
Everything works. It's been a while since I heard it. Well, that's it. It's back in. Everything works like it's supposed to. Ran it for a bit. So now we're on to the front facing part of the dash. And in the next episode, we should be close to the end and seeing what this is all like when it's all done.